What's going on, everybody? And today I'm discussing the whole two jobs thing. Is it the new normal? Is two jobs needed to make it in the United States to get by, buy eggs, which seems to be going up $7? I'm here sometimes. Afford your car note, afford your life insurance, your rent on your mortgage, your children if you have any. Even if you don't have children, do you feel you need multiple jobs just to get by? And if you do, are we losing out on the work life balance? Like, how much time are you spending working beyond 40 hours a week just to make ends meet, just to get your bills paid, everything like that? What do you all sit on the whole two jobs, maybe more? So how many people are working one job and then you go do a security job and then maybe after that you drive Uber, or you just doing your main job and then you drive Uber or Lyft, Uber Eats, whatever the case may be. They call those the gig jobs, things like that. And is it really, you know, are you the money if you're doing it, are you making enough from that you feel, or are you just keeping your head above water with trying to do a gig job and your main job? Or does your main job you feel not pay you enough? So you driving Uber on the side, or you bartending, doing security, whatever the case may be. And do you really feel it's needed if you got at least one child? It's not just you. Maybe we'll say it's a family of three, mom, dad, and child. That's two incomes there, but is it a situation where mom and dad have to take on something extra in addition to what they already have? And why is it that we've gotten to this point, if it is true that two jobs or more is the new normal living in the United States? I mean, we see cost of living going up, things getting more expensive. And so, do you feel two jobs are required to get things done? And why is it possible to survive on one job and it's just you? Let me create the context here. You have no children. Can one job get you through if you possibly lower your lifestyle? Or do you feel you need a second job to support your lifestyle? What is it that you're into? Do you have any habits? You like to gamble? You like to smoke? What is it that you feel you might need a second income for? Not that there's anything wrong with multiple streams, but a lot of the people who, you hear these stories who picked up a second job, they were struggling already with the first job. It's not a situation where they got three, four, five streams of income and they're comfortable. They're just trying to keep their head above water. The first job is not paying enough. And so I'm going to do security on the weekends. And then the thing is, where's your work life balance, your free time to just kind of decompress and unwind when you're out here doing a main job, a second job, and whatever else you can do on the side? It's only 7 days in a week. How many hours are you working? And I'm not even saying at home, or maybe you work from home and you got to go leave and go in person and do something else. And then if you're out here, we hear about the layoffs, and it's very competitive right now because you got layoffs happening. So everybody's competing. Everybody's, it's a lot more competition out here trying to get a particular job. Yesterday, Facebook, Meta, they laid off. They started their layoff process, and their number was 3,600. I don't know what else might come after that. But this is where we're at in America right now, and the economy, and so many layoffs coming, government buyouts, with what they're trying to do in terms of cutting down the spending with the United States government. So it's a lot going on in terms of what you feel you need. Do you feel you need more than one job, or is your one job keeping you straight above water? And now you just have the luxury of being able to figure out that second stream of income, and then eventually the third, while the first stream is keeping you good. The lights are on, the gas is on, the water is on. And I'm just talking just from a person no children, you live under that roof by yourself. And to all of the parents, do you all feel that your one job, is enough? Mom and dad, that double income is taking care of you all, your child or children. But then again, you also have what's called the DINK, the DINK, it's double income, no kids, where you got a couple and they decide not to have children and just build their money together and stack up so they can retire before they're 50, between 40 and 50. So you also have that. And like I say, that's a result of this economy and things getting more and more expensive. And so even if you don't have two jobs, do we have people out here getting together just to create that two income living situation? So you got one, that other person got one, whether you all are just roommates or you in an actual relationship, there's your two jobs. And then you both can possibly do something on the side together. So now you get a third stream of income, however you want to play it out. But is two jobs the new normal? Is that what we're looking at now as time goes on? If you have small children right now, what are you telling them in terms of the job market? Are you pushing them towards starting their own business and you stacking money for them now to have some cash flow to get it started based on what your child is into and what you can do to monetize that? Because I think that's important too. Instead of just saying start your own business, you need to talk to your son and daughter in terms of and try and identify what they're into now and cultivate that, grow that. And so if it is something that's practical that can be monetized, you have some seed money, starter money for them by the time they turn 18 as the parents. So, invest in your children like stocks and cryptocurrency, etc. Or are you telling them, go to high school, go to college, get a good job, but are you preparing them for how the market may be, where they may have to get to after college? Will they be able to find a decent paying job once they graduate after the year 2030? I'm projecting it past that because when I'm saying small children, I'm saying you still have children in grammar school. We got 5 years left in the 2020s, so they won't be entering college until they won't be done with college until after 2030. We can do the math on that. So it's just some things to think about if you are a parent, and if not, are you putting kids on hold for now until you can save up enough money from your one job or your two jobs, and then get in a relationship with a person who has their finances in order as well, so you all can tackle the whole parenthood thing together, you know? Or are you all just saying, hey, no, we're not going to do the kid thing? You got people right now who want to get a house and get a mortgage, but they're still renting because of the student loan. So you picking up job number two to try and keep yourself going and get these bills down. But at the same time, and I'm going to reiterate this, people have to lower their lifestyles too. That's the number one thing that I think people have to do at first. See what you can cut out, Netflix, whatever, Amazon Prime, Starbucks. There's things that we have to cut out so much just on a monthly basis to start really seeing some savings increase. Because so many people complaining, hey, I'm spending more than I'm bringing in. As soon as I get paid, it's already gone, you know, and we can't really continue like that, you know, from, in this type of economy if we're going to be able to really be self-sufficient and, really get our finances together. And so, I mean, if you're a person that just can't lower your lifestyle and you have to keep everything, then maybe you will need that second job. And that's becoming normal for you. I guess we can't generalize and say it's normal, but it's definitely people out here working multiple jobs and still barely making it there. That helps keep the lights on. And so I got a recent article I'm gonna share now. It's actually it's from this month, and it's a little bit more about the job situation right now and multiple job workers here in the United States. So let me get that set up. Here we go. To check this out. Now this website is advisorperspective.com, and this article is from yesterday. And so it's doing the study from January. So 5.3%, that's not a big percentage of workers, employees in January. They all are running around with at least 2 jobs or more. So if we go through the article, what are the long-term trends for multiple job holders in the United States? The Bureau of Labor Statistics has 30 years of historical data to enlighten us on this topic. So let's check it out. In January 2025, 8.643 million people working multiple jobs in the United States. That's, like we said, 5.3% of civilian employment. The survey also has data for 4 subcategories for the multi-job workforce, and then the relative sizes of which are illustrated in a pie chart. The distinction between primary and secondary jobs is a subjective one, and it's determined by the survey participants. So obviously you got your main job, and then you got the secondary, which you picked up later on. That one may not pay as much as the main job, but it just helps to kind of, increase your income. And so we had the categories here: primary job, full-time; secondary job, full-time. If you look down here, primary and secondary jobs, both part-time. You see the percentages. Hours vary on primary or secondary job. And then the smallest one, primary and secondary, both part-time. So these are people who don't even have a full-time. They're working 2 part-times to probably equal a part-time. And that's the smallest at 5%. So you all see the numbers and how things stand out. If I can make that bigger, here we go. So yeah, this is a better look on it. So 58%, that's primary job, full-time; secondary job. And then you see it gets smaller, 22, then 15 for this one. So, and this is as of last month, January 2025. So we scroll down some more here. Not included in the stats are approximately 0.05% of the employed who work part-time on what they consider their primary job and full-time on their secondary job. Okay. And then let's review the complete series to help us get a sense of long-term trends. Here's a look at all the multiple job holders as a percent of the civilian employed. The dots are the non-seasonally adjusted monthly data points, and multiple job holders have accounted for 5% or more of total employed persons for 17 straight months. And that's tying the longest streak since the before the pandemic. Since the run up to the 2020 pandemic. Okay, so that's big. There we go. And so finally, in the bottom paragraph, however, the monthly data points can be quite versatile. And so they pulled up another graph down here so you all can see multiple job holders in these graphs. So yes, a lot of numbers there. That's a bigger view of it. Consists of 4 job holder categories, multiple, and this way you can see, how everything is trending. And so that's going from 1994 up to 2024. So yeah, the last 30 years. So yeah, now we see you can see there with what's going on and how the jobs are, people really just trying to keep everything together and put together one, two jobs, maybe a third one. People trying to feed themselves, trying to feed their family. And, I don't know what the stress factor is in that, in terms of you having to pick up so much work and, sleep you're getting or lack thereof. And so, and this really stands out to me here, where it said it time the longest streak since the run up to the 2020 pandemic. So it's definitely real out here in terms of the layoffs and people trying to get, two part-time jobs to equal one. And this now. And so it's definitely something to think about and, really keep in mind. I know a lot of people probably don't want two jobs to be the new normal. I've seen people say that shouldn't be the case, that shouldn't be needed. But, the wages from these companies, we've all heard, they don't keep up with cost of living, inflation, things like that. How much people get paid hasn't increased. And so you got people needing to get more than one job to keep up with the cost of living. And so that takes away from a lot of free time. People probably frown upon that because they're not able to go out and do what they need to do, maybe take a vacation, because now you got to request off from both jobs, unless you're doing Uber or Lyft or something where you're the boss, cutting hair, where you can just dictate, your vacation days, things like that. But if you work in two jobs and you got to request off from both supervisors, you might be able to get one, but then you can't get the other. So you still don't have that job life balance. So, I mean, what's to be done? Will things get better? Or will we actually get to the point where two jobs is normal for one person, single, no children, and not in a relationship? So that's not the second income isn't coming from who you're with, it's just you. To just be able to live under your own roof by yourself, an apartment maybe, is that where we're going? And how much can we lower our lifestyle, to really help out our own bank account and keep our savings, try and keep adding to that and increasing. I know it can be hard to say just because people have so many other things that, have to be paid on, and unexpected bills, people go through divorce, things like that, just extra expenses that come about, medical bills, things like that. And they just don't have enough money to go around to really stay on top of these things, trying to stay healthy and just trying not to just get overwhelmed. It may be too late for that. But, and then, like I said, with the layoffs that come, then it creates more competition on the market for all of these people scrambling to go for the same position as you. Who knows how long your wait time is to get hired? And so you doing side hustles and things like that, Uber Eats, whatever, DoorDash, and then going on an interview. And then all while on the same time trying to get your own business set up. So, it's a lot of hours, in the week trying to figure this thing out. And you can definitely get a mental and physical burnout. But, I know this isn't ideal in terms of how many hours people are going to have to put in to keep the bills paid and be comfortable at least. And again, you may have people just asking for roommates, a roommate at this point, or getting into a relationship at this point just to have that second income. And not really even into the person. This person just kind of, helps out with, cutting the bills in half, And then the whole thing, you go back to the children, children are a bill. So you have people putting that on pause, this is the things that this type of economy and job market in the United States will make people do. And then the people who already have children, they just still trying to maybe cut corners when they can when it comes to costs, raise their children and make sure they have something decent. But it's still a lot of money that's coming out of their pocket. You know, being a parent is the hardest job in the world I've heard. So you have to take all of that into consideration. You know, just imagine in this economy and you taking 2 or 3 children to the movie theater, you know, how much you going to spend. You know, that might be $100 easily. And so now you got a budget for the show to go to the theater. Maybe you can only go once a month. You know, in the past, maybe 40 years ago, you could get to the movie theater 3 times with your children, but not in 2025. So any habits that people have, you know, gambling, smoking, too much alcohol, whatever the case may be, if you're able to keep that stuff under control, so you're not out here spending too much on any of it, whatever you're into. Some people like dining out too much. Some people like going on vacation too much, and they don't look for deals, or even if they do, they just on vacation way too much, and then you get back home trying to look and see where did the money go, just so you can stay on top of things. So, you know, the budget is definitely important at this point. You know, 2 jobs or more, if you're able to get through on one so far, and now you can just voluntarily focus on a second stream of income of something that you want to do, because I think a lot of people don't even like their primary job. Then you got to go out and get a second job that you don't like, and so now you're just miserable working 2 jobs this week, next week, third week, things like that. So it's definitely something. You know, it may become the new normal until who knows until when. With artificial intelligence, I can't really give a year or even predict a date where okay, people's how much they make will have caught up to the cost of living in the United States, and it, with just one job is fine. You know, and I know it's a lot of people who just aren't in good spaces right now with layoffs. Some people in certain industries might be afraid; they don't know what's coming. And again, we see all of these other videos, not even the ones that quit with no backup plan. You know, I've seen people record videos after they've just been laid off. Some are recording live while they're getting laid off, or maybe not live, but they record it and put it on YouTube. And you can hear the whole conversation when they're talking to human resources. And, you know, they're getting laid off not from low performing, it's just restructuring, company budget, and artificial intelligence is probably involved in a lot of that too. And so you see people, you know, you see that and you might get nervous, you know, that you see these people, you like, man, am I next? What's the whole deal with it? And these aren't people who were trying to quit and say, hey, I'm risking it all. These are people who were doing what they're supposed to do. And some of the videos I've seen, and human resources lets them know, hey, it wasn't nothing with that we were not yeah, we weren't upset, or they weren't upset with anything with these people and their performance. It's just, you know, the company, you know, has to go in its direction and profit can mean layoffs or whatever. And they can word it however they want in terms of what you may call an excuse, you know, even though AI may be the elephant in the room, depending on your company. Yeah. And so I just keep encouraging people to lower lifestyle and keep saving. Throw your investments out there. I know you can't may not be able to afford to throw too much into the stock market or on cryptocurrency, but try and throw something in there and then just leave it and watch it grow. When you get a little more extra money, maybe even now from income tax time, get you some more crypto. I recommend XRP and get you some stocks. Get stocks for your children if you're a parent. I've said, like I said in previous videos, I have XRP and then I have stocks in different companies. And so it's just, again, it's just me. I don't have any dependents or anything like that. So, it makes things easier for me to, save, and I don't live above my lifestyle or try and be flashy. And so, that all helps. That stuff never really mattered to me like that. I'm into my sneakers, but, I don't have hundreds of pairs of things like that. I'm real conscious about finances and making sure everything I have my ducks in a row. And so that's why I like to come and make, videos like this just to, inform other people and maybe give them some information, grabs. I want to show the numbers, and then also let people know that they're, not alone in whatever they're going through with the finances. You see the percentages and the numbers. You are not the only one that may be having to have 2 or 3 jobs. It might not be reflected on social media that you see people partying and it looks like, okay, these people must be making a decent amount of money. And they might be, but it may not be just from one job. You thinking they getting off at 5:30 and that's it, or getting off at 4, one job, that's it. They may be having to go to the next one. I mean, there may be some out there that's getting through with one. I don't know how much they may have left over if you constantly seeing them on social media partying with what they choose to put out there. But social media doesn't tell the whole story. YouTube doesn't tell people's whole story. They just putting out there what they want people to see. And maybe it's a coping mechanism sometimes. Some people get on here and will reveal more of their, as I call it, D's and F's, not just the A's and B's you see, which is just people dancing or on vacation or out to eat on social media where everything looks good. And these people are in the same boat that you might be in. But we can't pocket watch and things like that. That's going to stress you out and mess with your mental health. You still got to focus on you. The answer is still always you. And if you have to get 2 jobs, do it for the time being. Just make it make sense in terms of, the work-life balance. And when you're going to do the secondary job, look at what your expenses are and how much that second job will help cut down on that. If you really just want to stick to the one, and when you work on that next stream of income is for you to work for yourself and not trying to pick up some secondary job that you don't like, then you have to look at, again, lowering your lifestyle. What can you, what subscriptions can you cut out that you watch on TV? And, how much, wherever you going, when you go outside, is it some days that you can just stay home? I mean, whatever you have to do. I know it's depending on, it's still winter time. And if you live in northern states, a lot of people are having to entertain inside. So if you leave home, you're going into a spot where it's warmer, where you have to spend money. You're not somewhere where it's warm yet, or we're not in spring yet where you can just hang out, by the lake, wherever you stay at, or in the park where it could be, cheaper forms of entertainment, since you don't have to go inside or anywhere else and spend money on food and everything else. So you might just have to learn to stay at home a little bit more until you get your savings together. You got to live everything down And if need be, stop going on social media if you're not disciplined enough to not, pull your hair out when you see other people who are having a good time and you're not able to really get in that position right now because of finances. And I'm not saying the person that you're looking at in particular is, they got a situation similar to yours, yet they still out there and you trying to figure out why they're able to broadcast this on social media. It seems like they're unbothered about being in the same situation that you're in. Or you may know some for a fact that do have their ducks in a row and they able to afford, and that's, a real situation that they're putting on social media, and their money is right. But again, like I tell people, don't worry about that. You just have to focus on you. And then you won't have to ask the questions of why am I not getting what I want out of life. So I know it's tough. And I know some people don't want to go out there and get that second job. But if it's needed, do it for now. You don't have to make it your normal. You just make it your right now until you can get back on your feet and just really get out of debt, start paying things down. That's the main thing, get out of debt. If you're doing the two jobs to get out of debt, then, that's a smart move. If you need to hold off on becoming a parent or getting a house, just focus on paying your rent and continue to save. And the house and children can come later if that's what you want. And be careful with the homes too. That's 30 years. Some lenders offer 40 years. And you have to see, do I want to get locked into something for 30, 40 years as well? Or if you want to try and pay it off faster, or if you want to wait and try and pay cash for it. And, you're not out here trying to get something unless you're making that type of money that's starting at $900,000, $1 million, things like that, wherever you're trying to live at. But if you can afford that, then you go ahead. But again, you grinding right now, just paying your rent and, writing down your goals and then just visualizing where it is where you want to be at. But try and save and invest and save in addition to getting multiple streams of income. Start with one at a time, then add a third stream of income. And in that, I'm talking about stuff where, you're the boss, not you having to go out and drive Uber or go work maybe doing security somewhere overnight as your second job just so it can supplement the first job, things like that. Jobs that people probably really just don't want to do, but they're doing it because the cost of living in the United States. So that's all I'm saying. It's not a very easy decision. People doing things that they wish they didn't have to do. But that's where we're at right now. And if you're working two jobs, or if you're working one but think you might need a second, you're thinking about getting a second one. Do you think it's necessary? Are you a parent, and are you only doing one job as a parent, or do you have more than one? How's that working out? In addition to how much it costs to take care of your child or children, put that down in the comments. Let me know, where you guys stand on that and how things are treating you in this economy. Has one job been all right so far, or are you doing two or three? Or do you know someone, and how has it affected their life, their mood? Are they miserable? Are they grumpy because they just don't have the free time that they want? And as far as your own finances, do you all feel it's something that you can let go of to really help build up your savings? And another thing, high yield savings accounts. There's some that are at 4%. And check into those. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, E-Trade, they're good. They're at 4%. If you open up a savings account with them, I think some are even higher than that. Yeah, put all of that down in the comments, and you know, where you're at and your feelings on the whole two jobs thing in the United States economy, and where things are going, and if you feel like you're heading towards job number two. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel as always. It's Facts or Feelings, all one word, no spaces. Put that in a YouTube search and this channel comes right up. And everybody keep saving and less spending. I'm out.